He's retired. He's never going to fight again. He also said that he hasn't worked out since his last fight in November. We're in June. That's 6 or 7 months, okay? We're going to talk about all of that because Tom Aspinall also said that there's a big announcement coming soon.
Massive announcement incoming.
And we know we're rinsing this, but this is the biggest story in mixed martial arts for the biggest fight in mixed martial arts and potentially the biggest duck avoidant regarding everyone saying that he's ducking Tom Aspinall and stuff like that. He said, I spoke to the UFC a long time ago about what my future plans are. I haven't really worked out since my last fight in New York City. Honestly, I believe it's in the UFC's best interest to keep presenting me as the company's champion, not Tom. And then he goes on to say, I've just been playing the role of the company man by doing nothing at all and holding all the position. And truthfully, it's been incredibly lucrative. I've made more money off of Tom being the interim champ than Tom has himself. It sucks to see the rest of the division get slowed down like this, but that has nothing to do with me. I don't pull the strings. Well, it does have everything to do with you, Jon. You are the champion and you're the guy that should fight, that should defend or vacate. Now don't worry, we're not going to go through all ground there and give you all the same points. But he continued tweeting. He was talking about Tom, saying Tom's basically not that special because he's got 3 losses on his record, 2 of which were before the UFC. And you know, to be fair, that's a fair point, right? Not everyone goes through a career in mixed martial arts where they just dominate everybody. And that is what Jon Jones has done, apart from maybe, say, Dominic Reyes, his last fight at 205. Okay, a lot of people thought he lost. Maybe against Thiago Santos as well. But still, he was getting a little bit tired and a little bit complacent at light heavyweight. No, not everyone can do that. But just because you lose 2 fights early in your career doesn't mean that you can't learn, improve, get better.
Jon Jones has just set the mixed martial arts world on fire yet again. This time, it's by officially calling out Francis Ngannou, deliberately looking past the interim champion, Tom Aspinall. But for Jones, the logic is simple. A fight against Ngannou is a far bigger spectacle than a title defense against the current interim champ. And with that declaration, chaos has erupted throughout the MMA community, with fans and fighters asking the same question. Why is Jon still avoiding Aspinall?
It's not about you, Jon. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt. How many more times does Tom have to say it? He would love to fight him. He would love to be he would love to have the opportunity to be that guy. He would love it. Who wouldn't? But he just wants that belt. He wants whatever that belt signifies, whatever it symbolizes, and what it brings. It brings all the things that Jon Jones is enjoying right now, because if Jon Jones wasn't the most decorated champion, wasn't the greatest light heavyweight champion, wasn't the 2-division champion, he wouldn't be doing things like this. He wouldn't get opportunities like this. He wouldn't get the opportunity to live his best life. And now you are stopping someone else from living their best life. Do you get the difference? It's not about you. And so when the legends fought you, and I'm not even talking about when you were champ or tried to become champ, I'm talking about the dudes that fought you on the way up.
So maybe Jon's not going to come back. Maybe the announcement that Tom's talking about is Jon Jones stepping away, Ciryl Gane stepping in, Tom versus Ciryl for the undisputed belt. Because right now in the heavyweight division, I can't think of anyone else more deserving. Yeah, okay, Volkov, he might have something to say about that.
This is #1 bullshit.
But in terms of a fan favorite kind of mouth-watering matchup, Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall, 2 gigantic guys, 2 big dudes, 2 agile guys, 2 very, very quick guys. That's a good one. That's a matchup that I would like to see.
How many more times does Tom Aspinall have to say it? He wants the opportunity, he wants the belt, and he wants everything that comes with it. all the things Jon Jones is enjoying right now. Jones wouldn't have these opportunities if he hadn't built his legacy as a two-division champion. Now he stands in the way of someone else trying to do the same.
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready, and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of difficult, like, mentally to...
Oh, yeah.
This is the fight against Jon Jones, like, not... The fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. I'm trying. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're in office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it. I get it. It's just about the title for me. I just want the title, that's it. There's nothing else really matters. So
you're like, let me do my thing, let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's Jon, and it's no disrespect to Jon, it's no disrespect to anybody out there. You're just trying to fight. I just want to fight.
Stupid. I have no idea the reason why the UFC don't really want Tom to fight anybody else other than Jon Jones. And, you know, they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter. And they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones, but we're still in April now. Still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around, not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do?
Let's rewind this whole situation.
Let's not forget how we got here. Tom Aspinall stepped up on short notice to face Sergey Pavlovich, arguably the most feared man in the division. And he didn't just win, he knocked him out in under 70 seconds. He did exactly what the UFC asked, saved a pay-per-view, and earned his shot at the undisputed title. Since then, he's been met with silence, cryptic tweets, and vacation photos from the champion.
There's nowhere to go for Johnny. He either has to fight me or retire now. If he does retire, everyone knows that he will have been avoiding me. I want to fight. Absolutely, I want to fight. If that's against Jon Jones or not. I'm just waiting on a date, man. Dana White's come out this week and said that Jon Jones is happy to do it. I've been in the rooms with the UFC and they've told me it's happening. I'm not chasing Jon Jones. The reason I want to fight Jon Jones is because he's got the belt. He's #1 heavyweight walking around the planet Earth. But we need to find out who the guy is. If it's not Jon Jones, get out of the way. I'll fight someone else. Happy days.
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week, and I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no different than an Olin St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith, be like just another up-and-comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared of losing against me.
If Jones truly told the UFC his plans long ago, and those plans never included Aspinall, why wasn't he stripped months ago? Why is the interim champion being left on the sidelines? This is why fans are furious. The UFC claims to be about the best fighting the best, but for Jon Jones, the rules seem to be different. Any other champion would have lost their title by now for this level of inactivity and refusal to fight the top contender. The reality is, Tom Aspinall is a uniquely dangerous opponent. He's been described as the whole package, a heavyweight with the speed, agility, and technical skill of a lighter fighter.
He's elite as a heavyweight. A lot of the heavyweights, they're good, they're very strong, they're powerful, but they're not as quick and as agile and as technical as Tom. Tom's the whole package. You know, he's like, there's a fighter called George St. Pierre, who's one of the greatest to ever do it. Tom's like a heavyweight George St. Pierre. He's got no weak areas. He's got absolute knockout power, super disciplined, super agile on the feet. He finishes everyone really, really quickly. However, He hasn't gone up against somebody like Jon Jones because, as I said, the competition in the heavyweight division isn't necessarily there on a technical level. Jon Jones is. And Jon Jones has fought way better competition than Tom. That's just a fact. But Jon's never fought anyone like Tom either. Jon has never fought anyone the size of Tom, and that can generate that kind of power. He had 2 heavyweight fights, one against Cyril Ngannou. He took him down really quick and he choked him out. And then he went up against Stipe Miocic. He was really good, and he had a good little go. But he was 42 and he hadn't fought for a while, and he's getting on. Tom's 31, in the prime of his life, and I would be very surprised, and this sounds disrespectful, but I'd be very surprised if he got out the first round.
An idea. He was the one who delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up the heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will win.
Jon Jones has never faced anyone quite like Tom. His heavyweight experience is limited to a quick submission over Cyril Gane and a victory over an aging Stipe Miocic. Aspinall, at 31 years old, is in his absolute prime. The argument has even been made that Jones delayed his move to heavyweight for years, avoiding prime versions of fighters like Cain Velasquez and Stipe Miocic. He has simply never been in the octagon with an athlete like Tom Aspinall.
Who's next big heavyweight star?
Tom Aspinall, the guy who just won the interim title. He's phenomenal. And he is, again, the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like, he just fucking moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see like he's fast for a big guy.
Right.
I want to see it so bad.
Jon was shitting all over Aspinall, saying that
I think that's
lucky,
a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on
well.
him. Unless Jon avoided him, unless Jon used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
The Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part
They did with
series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight was just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but we felt the same way about Cyril Gane.
Yeah, but
Cyril Gane doesn't have wrestling, doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit that his dad owned a jiu-jitsu gym. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks, you're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
It's a bit of a problem for him, right? Because he has not been tested in that way.
And Jon Jones knows this. This is why many believe he is avoiding the fight. It's not about fear. It's a calculated move. Jones is a master of managing his career, picking the right fights at the right time, and using politics to his advantage.
Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is the UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking Jon Jones.
When you're an interim champion, they only make an interim champion when the champion cannot defend the belt. So for Jon Jones, he couldn't defend the belt because he tore his pec muscle. So the interim champion means he should be fighting the champion right off the bat. That's not the case with Jon Jones, right? Because Jon Jones is going to fight Stipe Miocic. So the interim champion is supposed to sit there and wait. But by law, in like the regulations, once Jon Jones steps in the cage, he is stripped of his interim champion because the champion has returned. There is no longer for an interim champion. What is the point of having an interim champion when the champion is ready to fight?
This is all happening during Aspinall's prime, and the UFC is letting it waste away. For Jones, it comes down to risk versus reward. Aspinall himself believes he's just a bad matchup for the champion.
When you look at Jon Jones, would you say it's a money thing or not wanting to fight you thing, or do you think it's a combination?
I think I'm a bad matchup for him, to be honest.
In my opinion, I think it's a huge risk. You're younger, you're athletic, you hit hard, you pose problems. We don't have much data on you. Okay, if I was to fight Tom Aspinall, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, he's very fast, very athletic, light on his toes. He blitzes across the void. So if he gets across the void, can I take that shot? A lot of people have not been able to take that shot. So if he gets across that void, and I get hit, I might go fucking down. That happens, you become the biggest fucking star ever. You just slayed the GOAT. Or maybe he wants $30-40 million.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
He's the fastest, quickest, most powerful heavyweight on the planet. He's the favourite against Jon Jones. And no man alive can beat Tom Aspinall, in my humble opinion. And that's with the greatest of respect to Jon Jones.
Toe came out of his skin when he fought me. He wrapped it himself to go to the press conference. He didn't want to miss his press conference. So he wraps it himself because the doctors refused. That's inappropriate treatment. We're not going to do that. We're taking you to the hospital. This is a tough guy. And when it comes to grit, and you gotta have it, we know for sure that Jon does. Now, that doesn't mean that Tom does not. But we don't know that. And we don't know that those punches are as hard and as fast with equal accuracy.
It's widely agreed that Aspinall presents a more complete challenge than other potential opponents because of his well-rounded skill set. The friction may ultimately come down to money. Rumors suggest Jones wants a historic payday, perhaps as much as $30 million, and is leveraging the UFC's desire for the fight to get it. If the promotion won't pay, the fight won't happen. It's that simple.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. You can do whatever you want.
Tom Aspinall fight, let me tell you this. It's a fight I don't need to see because I love Aspinall. I think he's a phenomenal. He's in the heavyweight division. He has grappling, wrestling, incredible striking. You don't see that with heavyweights. Jon Jones is years ahead of everybody, especially at heavyweight. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. Jon Jones being the warrior that he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it.
If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to say it, I want that money.
Aspinall wants it. One of them has to lose that fight. You look at it and you go, Aspinall's probably going to win. If you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. The world wants to see this.
Jon Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic.
Aspinall is a great fighter.
Yep.
He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? Why? Because we see so
I think
much.
Jon
on the
Jones said
internet.
he wants $30 million.
If UFC were to pay that, I'm sure they could figure out a way. You think he would do it?
Of course they could pay. They just reported earnings. Give me the exact numbers what their earnings was.
UFC brought in 1.4.
1.4 billion. We're in a situation where the company wants something from Jon Jones. They want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones says, I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me? Yes or no? No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. Perfect. The fight doesn't even happen.
I think that the UFC don't like to pay that type of money because you know how hard it is to train for MMA.
Whatever happens, the consensus is that Tom Aspinall deserves better, and the sport's credibility is on the line. The fans are watching, waiting for the UFC to prove that titles are earned in the octagon, not protected in boardrooms. What do you think should happen next? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more MMA news and analysis.